And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Always Pressing PGA DFS podcast, previewing your 2023 Travelers Championship. We'll recap this tournament called the U.S. Open that just took place in LA as well, and much, much more. You can find me on Twitter at BDentric, the podcast at Always Press DFS, and my co-host is always on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. Jesse, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. A fun weekend in the books. A lot of mixed reactions on the Twitterverse this week. And so what did you think of the U.S. Open?
Yeah, I mean, so initially I've been thinking about this since, like, when you do stuff like this, you start thinking in terms of, like, what am I going to say? And so I've been thinking of it since Thursday. Like, what do I say? Initially, I was fucking pissed. I'm not going to lie. I was very upset on Thursday at how easy that golf course played. To me, I don't know if they didn't look at the weather, if they don't have a good meteorologist. I don't know. Like they set it up way too easy on Thursday. Mm-hmm. And that was figured out by Friday. By Friday afternoon, when all of my guys were playing and trying to make the cut, it was playing much more difficult. Saturday and Sunday were, in my opinion, U.S. Open worthy rounds. Mm-hmm. Yes, there were some easy holes on the golf course, but even par was still a good score, and that's really what you want out of the U.S. Open. I mean, 10 under wins it, 8 under is winning after Thursday, and 10 under ends up winning the golf tournament. I mean, to me, that we got 3 days of U.S. Open golf. Thursday, different story, but Justin Rose now probably would tell you both days were U.S. Open golf worthy. But overall, man, I thought I like that golf course a lot. I know a lot of people don't. I think it's really, really cool that golf course and others too, but that one in particular, the sight lines on it. I mean, with the freaking skyscrapers in the background, the mega mansions right off the side, and just overall the way that it played, I thought it was a good golf course. I don't think they should ever go back there, but I think I would absolutely just love to play that golf course, but that'll never happen. So.
Yeah, I would too, but I don't even know if I don't know if I want to play the course. I don't know if I want to follow the rules. I saw someone tweet out the rules.
You have to wear pants, number one.
Well, yeah, I'm a shorts dude, so like we got problems right now. Like I wear pants when I have to. Like I wear pants to when I played Tory because it was kind of cold out. Like I can wear pants. It's not
right. I'm with you.
I prefer not to though. Like let's just be real about 100%. It.
Yeah.
But it was just all the other policies. Like you have to, after like 5 p.m. you have to have a sport jet. Like all these freaking things. I'm like, whoa! I'm here to play golf. Like,
it's very Augusta-like.
Oh, hardcore Augusta-like. Yeah, you can tell it was a bunch of rich people that put this together and said, "Hey, this is where we want to hang out. And we're going to make it as exclusive as possible, basically." And like someone I think tweeted out the value of the ground there because how much like an acre of land costs.
It's Joe Pompilano or whatever. Yeah.
Some astronomical price tag.
$8 billion. It's worth $8 billion. But they only pay taxes on like 80 million or something. I don't know.
Well, and what it tells you is that the people that are there have so much money because most people would have sold that ground to build by now for $8 billion. They're like, nah, we're good. We'll just keep our golf course.
It's $250,000 to join.
It's just to join.
And they don't let celebrities join.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah.
That factor.
I know.
So it's like it's a weird exclusive place. Like I think I saw somewhere. I think No Laying Up tweeted out like the next like 20 years of venues. I think it's scheduled to be there in 2039. So 16 years away. But
Riviera's on the schedule.
Yep, Riviera's on the schedule. Pebble's there like every 5 years. Yeah. It's wild. Which I love Pebble, but I don't know if it's a U.S. Open track. Like let's just be real about it. We've talked about that, but LACC was great. There was a couple things like on Thursday. I was even telling people that were like Discord or other friends, well, guys, the winning score is not going to be like 15 under. This is going to get rough quick. They're going to do whatever it takes to do stuff. But it was annoying for one to see that score just because it's the U.S. Open.
Yes.
The one thing I'll say though is it still was a test of golf even that day because you had so many different scores because you still had to hit your golf ball in the right spots and get the rolls that you needed. It was just more friendly, like it was more receptive, which made it a little easier. But like over the weekend, you were saying guys would hit shots 20 yards short to roll it up to the left side of the green so it could roll all the way to the right. Like it was totally a shot maker's paradise at that point, and it was fun. It was great to watch. I know we mentioned it last week. If you guys aren't following Michael Kim on Twitter, I highly recommend it. Like the stuff he was tweeting out about just golf shots, about why a guy would do this and that, just kind of gives you an insight of the guy that's actually out there playing it. kind of like, hey, this is why they're doing this.
Yeah.
When most of us are like, why would you hit the ball over here? It's like, well, this is why. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting. What do you think about Wyndham taking it down? Like he gets the Wells Fargo, and now he gets the U.S. Open in like the span of almost a month.
Yeah. Very surprised. Once he got up to the leaderboard there and was around the lead, I was fully expecting him to collapse. But he's got, I think he's got the moxie to compete. I mean, obviously that's a huge win at the Wells Fargo, but that's not on this stage.
Yep.
He probably won just about as much money at the Wells Fargo, but either way, I mean, he didn't have Rory and Ricky and Scotty and others. Xander was there for a while, chasing him down. So at a U.S. Open where he had to hit, really good golf shots, and he did. I mean, that I will say that like 18 is disappointing, just because that it's almost 100-yard wide fairway there. I mean, it's almost impossible to hit, and he hits one that's just, I mean, Mito-esque at the PGA Championship a couple years ago, and it ends up in the fairway, and he knocks it up on the short of the green. Hit a hell of a, I mean, 60 feet away, and that kind of pressure with all that nonsense they had going on behind him.
Yep.
I mean, I mean, and then his reaction, dude. His reaction afterwards, after he made the final putt, made me a fan forever of Wyndham Clark. You could tell that that was a lot of emotion coming out there. So kudos to him, man. He was not on my radar, but I know a lot of people did bet him, including Tim Anderson, who hits one every now and again. So.
Yeah, the clock's right. Broken clock's right twice a day. So you got that going for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great to see. That's why I always like tweet out silly stuff once in a while in any sport. When there's moments like that with Wyndham, it's like, this is why sports are great. Like these are the moments.
100%.
Right, like, this is why we as fans watch the sport.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's cool to see that. And then it's even cool the flip side. Like you got guys like Max Homa and then JT who looks completely broken, and these guys are just like dumbfounded. What's going? Yeah, tweeting out like, out of all things on rosé, of all things. Like,
yeah. Did you see the bottles of? Did you see the bottles of champagne in the background?
Oh yeah, they're having a great old time. Those boys, like,
they were.
Okay. That's what all those millions of dollars, folks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you got that kind of money or whatever, but yeah, I mean, dude, congrats to Wyndham. I feel bad for Rory.
Dude, it's like, is he starting to turn into that bridesmaid? Like Scheffler kind of is too. He's been a top 5 machine, but it's like he just goes through the motions, and he's going to go through an epic run again. It feels like the putter was better this week, but he still had a lot. Like I think it was Saturday. He had so many just misses again, like he's had in recent weeks where he was close. But yeah, Rory, oof. That was tough.
Just imagine if either one of those two guys could putt. If Scotty or Rory, either one.
We've said this so many times. It's just wild. There's such
Rory.
great
I mean,
ball strikers.
Scotty especially. Scotty hits it to 10 feet and misses it. Hits it to 10 feet, misses it. Hits it to 15 feet, misses it. Now, Rory wasn't necessarily as on with his iron game as what Scotty was on Sunday, but neither one of them. I don't know in a 2-man scramble if they could have beaten Wyndham Clark.
That's true.
As bad at putters as they were.
Yep, that's an outstanding point, because I always joke with my buddies because I don't hit the ball long. I got buddies that can crush it. My short games are my putting's my highlight of my game. I'm like, let's scramble, boys. Let's do this. Like, we got this. I'm not saying I'd help Scotty out because those greens are a lot tougher than what I play, but I'm just saying it's pretty impressive to see. It's like the Shaq of free throws. It's like, what's going on, guys? Like, what are we doing here? You guys are the best player on the course right now. Like, Shaq is the best player on the court. But it was Hack-a-Shack time, and it's like Scheffler. It's like, well, we know we're good. Just like Wyndham, I just got to shoot even par. I'm going to win the damn thing.
I mean, that's what kind of sucks about it, is the fact that nobody made a run really at him, and it took him making a couple bogeys and coming back for it to even matter on 18, whether or not that drive even hits the fairway, and so on and so forth. But that shot he hit on 14, the second shot where he had to land it in about 20-yard strip there, and it bounces right up pin high. I mean, absolutely incredible shot. I thought he was in big trouble on 9 when he hits it. No, 8 when he hit it left of 8 and then tried to hit it and missed it, and then ended up getting that ball out and then up and down from there to make bogey after Azinger already put him down for double. But Azinger, another guy who's
It's a whole nother
constantly
podcast.
wrong.
It's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. I mean, so, Wyndham made the shots, man. Wyndham won the championship. I wouldn't sit back and say that Rory lost it. I think Wyndham went and won it. Rory had his chances. He just did not capitalize.
Well, that's kind of one of the things I don't want to bring him up all the time. But Michael Kim mentioned, he said Wyndham was out there making the golf shots.
Yeah.
He was going for it. Where Rory was like laying up over here, he's hitting like a 3-wood off the tee, while Wyndham was grabbing driver like without a care in the world. And it goes back. I can't remember what beat writer had it out there, but he interviewed Wyndham on Thursday or whatever, and what he said, Wyndham, what's like your philosophy this week? He's like, be cocky. Like, just be cocky, like be confident, be cocky. And he proved it on Sunday. I know that's all I can say.
He sure did, man.
A couple other questions for you, because it is the US Open, so we spend a little more time on the majors. I was afraid of this happening. I even said it on Thursday. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. It lasted till Sunday, but then Ricky fell off. It was a hell of a week. Everyone's gonna say he's close, because he is, but what's your thoughts on that? Because I expected him I wouldn't have been shocked if he made the cut or whatever, but to play as well as he did for that weekend was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he made the most birdies ever, I think, or like he took I don't know. He's got some kind of weird stat like that, but he also made a shit ton of bogeys. I think he was last on the weekend in bogeys and first in birdies. But either way, yeah, Ricky, I don't really know what happened with him on Sunday. I think it kind of started on Saturday when he tricked that little 2-footer in the dark, which that's a whole nother story. Why are we starting these guys off at 3:30 in the afternoon?
When I saw on Friday evening or whatever, when they posted the start times, like, I live in California. I know it's lighter later, but what the, talk about TV running the world right there. That's all that is. That's the only explanation.
But, I mean, for us out here on the East Coast, that is a, almost 11 o'clock ending.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's late for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't staying up till 11 o'clock, But yeah, that was weird. But yeah, Ricky, man, I think Ricky is close. He's been close for a while, and he'll break through eventually. Was another tough scene, but Ricky is. I think he's an all world dude. So
yeah, signing autographs after every round.
Yeah.
Like, the dude was amazing. Like,
and hanging back there while Wyndham was hugging people and
there was the picture of the two of them freaking
making sure to stand there and shake his hand and be in there for that. I don't know if you're aware or not, but they both have the same putter.
Yeah, and I even heard when Ricky changed his a few inches shorter, so did Wyndham.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's a marine layer in California? Did you know about that?
Buddy, I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of stuff to talk about while you're talking about golf, but they wear it out.
And the most nonsense stuff. I'd rather hear a million other things. Like, tell me about Brooks, like, doing something stupid, like, or whatever. Anything.
The broadcast. They on Saturday afternoon, they did not show Wyndham Clark's. He's in the last group. They didn't show his first tee shot.
Yep.
How did that happen?
It's stupid. Or like
at one point, they cut to Brooks. He was on 15. They're like, "Oh, this is for bogey," and he missed it. Oh, that's a 4-putt. Like, well, I'd like to go back and see the first 3 putts.
Yep.
How
did he get to a 4-putt?
Right. I mean, okay, so he made double, but like, why is he 4-putting this green? Explain that to me,
Well, the Live guys got quite the TV treatment this weekend. I'll say that. But someone tweeted it out, and then I realized it dawned on me, because unless it was something negative, you didn't see a whole lot. Dustin was kind of in contention. That's the same way Scotty was, like, for a while there. And then Scotty pulled it away, but Dustin still wasn't getting any love. Like, it was gone.
Yeah, he wasn't.
It was a weird dynamic.
Brooks didn't hardly make any TV, but he wasn't in contention at all.
Blew that up. None of the other guys really.
Phil didn't make the cut. I don't know about the rest of them either.
Yeah, so that was it. The other thing I was going to ask you, because like Fitzy had comments on it, some others. What's with the BS crowds?
Well, so yeah,
I saw what it was. I saw why, but that's garbage.
Yeah. I think I think that goes back to your whole exclusivity thing.
It's what it was, 100%.
I mean, I think that's a lot of people with a lot of money ensuring that there wasn't a lot of people there. It's weird too. Like, back there on 13 and 14, 13's kind of in the far corner, and there was nobody around that green at all. So like, when dudes made birdies, especially on Saturday, there was like just some normal clapping. So it was a weird US Open from that standpoint of like the crowds and stuff. I thought it was okay though on Sunday.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't it wasn't what it was. It wasn't what it was at last year at the country club. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's also California, and you guys
Yeah.
are
Oh,
a lot more
beyond
chill. And
and
I don't know.
bandwagony. I'll say it for you. You don't have to sugarcoat it because you're on the podcast with me. Like I understand. This is why I travel to sporting events on your side of the world.
Yeah, I
There's
feel
a
you.
reason for
Yeah.
this. Like this
Which
is why.
it's weird to me how I mean obviously they're showing these big ass mansions. In particular, Lionel Richie's there on 6. Like I don't know if I own that house, I feel like I'm having a big ass party in my backyard.
Yeah.
And having all my friends over, and we're gonna be standing there watching the golf. And maybe Lionel Richie doesn't like golf, but he does
Rent
live
it
on the
out.
golf course where they're
Airbnb
having the
that.
biggest tournament of the
Yeah.
year. So
Airbnb it for the weekend. Make some money.
can you imagine?
Like because
How much
that's what
the
they
Airbnb
that's what
would
they do.
be?
That's what they do at Pebble, especially on 18. All those houses, people like literally have parties on,
Yeah.
especially Sunday for
At
sure.
every
and it's
golf course you
packed.
go to throughout the
Yeah.
year at the PGA Tour, that's how it is. But like
Yeah.
at these houses, it was like nobody even fucking lived there.
Yeah,
Never
it
saw
was-
one single
it was
person in
weird.
one of these backyards.
It was
You heard
weird.
peacocks, and that was it.
Yeah, and we knew where that was coming from. So like it was pretty great stuff. But all right, I guess we could wrap it up there. It was a fun weekend. It was a lot of, like I said, I guess animosity depending on where you went or it looked. But in the end, Wyndham won. Again, this goes to my point, and Wyndham would have qualified. Don't get me wrong, but this is why we can't have secluded events. Because I think he would have still make an elevated event before this, but you know what I'm trying to say. We need these guys that aren't the main guys in the tournaments.
And now he's probably on the Ryder Cup team as well.
That I heard he qualified by points. He knocked somebody out already. Like he's already
Mhm.
on the team if it were to end right now, which is bonkers to think about because I don't know if Paris or Rome fits his model. So we'll see.
But a guy with that kind of attitude, I'd love to have on the team.
Oh, that kind of swagger. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like if we can't have Brooks, give me that guy. Let's
Right.
go. So
Yep.
I'm with you there. All right, let's talk the Travelers elevated event after a major. We've done this roller coaster ride before. We have more guys missing this week than normal, and not to mention an elevated event after a major, West Coast to East Coast right out the gate. Just
just
like you
absolute stupidity by the PGA Tour.
One other thing I'll mention is the Monday Q guy on Twitter. I don't know his amazing Twitter follower. That guy needs so much more. Like I know you follow most golf. That guy needs his own like real situation. Like he's trying his ass off and he's doing well. But for the U.S. Open qualifying, he was great. And then this whole week, like he's already tweeting out last night text with Ryan Gerard, who had a red eye to go out there. Just the information you get from the I'm the elite player section of life is awesome. So I just want to throw that out there because he mentioned the struggles of these guys flying across the thing and all this stuff. But all right, Travelers Championship. What do you got for us?
Past event history. Last year, Xander won 19 under, 2 shots over JT Poston and Thigala. 2021 was Harris English, 13 under in a playoff over Kramer Hickok. 2020 was Dustin Johnson, 19 under, 1 shot over Kevin Streelman. 2019 was Ches Reavie, 17 under, 4 shots over Keegan and Zach Sucher. Bubba Watson won this 3 times. His last time was in 2018, 17 under, 3 shots over Paul Casey, Stuart Sink, JB Holmes, Bo Hostler, Jordan Spieth past champion, Kevin Streelman past champion. Pretty much do it for us. Russell Knox past champion. I don't even know if Russell Knox is on the tour anymore.
He's in
the field.
He should be in there. Basically, if you're listening to what Jesse said, this could be anybody's golf course. It's not a long course. It's a TPC River Highlands. Not to mention east to west. It's southwest to northeast. We're going to Connecticut now.
Yeah,
so
I mean, like almost as far as you can possibly go. Yeah,
it's like the Seattle Seahawks said, "What's up? We're playing the Dolphins." Like this is what you're dealing with, people. If you want like a visualization here,
we're not quite to Maine, but by God, it's close.
We might as well be playing in freaking Toronto. Like, let's just go. So you got TPC.
Toronto's
River
probably closer, dude.
It probably is actually. Now that you say it, it probably is. TPC River Highlands. It's a Pete Dye course, which I love personally because it's a shot maker's course. You have to use your brain instead of just bombs away. It's a par 70, 6,850 yards, so not long at all. It's the 4th smallest course on tour. Think Pebble, kind of, in a roundabout way, give or take. Elevated event, obviously, But the beautiful thing about Pete Dye courses, just because they're short doesn't mean they're easy. They're tree lined all over the place. It's a lot of rolling areas, so you have some weird lies. A lot of dog legs, so it's all about hitting the right spots. A lot of maybe driving irons or hybrids off the tee potentially. You can get your driver if you need to, but most of the time you're not going to want to because they also have very, very tough rough here, so you have to be in the fairway, It's not just like, hey, bomb it. I don't care if it's rough. Let's go. So you got to be in the fairway. Take advantage of setting up your next shot. It'll turn into a wedge fest if they're finding the fairway, which is fine. That's cool. You can handle that. There's 12 par fours. Or no, there's not 12 par fours. I totally just butchered that one. There's 12 of the par fours, as I wrote down. 12 of the par fours are less than 450 yards. A couple are less than 400 yards. So you have that going for you as well. But overall, like a lot of course history, a lot of Pete Dye type stuff can be used here. The par fives are very, very reachable. You better get your birdies on the par fives. The greens are bent grass for the most part. Sixth smallest on tour. Again, that's why I compared Pebble, because Pebble's like the smallest ones on tour. So you just want to have the ocean wind to deal with at this golf course. But it should be a blast. It's like one par five on both sides. You have your normal par threes, which aren't that bad either. A couple or over 200 yards. The other ones are below 200 yards. Nothing that we saw last week. So really just find the fairways, have a good wedge fest, maybe get hot with the putter. Should have a fun week. What do you got on your stats here?
Yeah, I mean, I think you pretty much hit it all. Plenty of course history to weight, which I do. Greens and regulation, birdie or better. I mean, it's we're back to a more traditional type of PGA Tour event here, where 15 to 20 under is going to win. So got to be able to go out there and make a shit ton of putts.
Get low. Let's talk DFS here. DraftKings 10K and above. Scotty Scheffler 11-3, Rory 10-9, Rahm 10-8, Xander 10-4, Cantlay 10-2. Who you like in here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Rory and Scotty. It's I mean, they're and Rahm, the three best players in the world. So hard not to play them. I do love Xander Schauffele this week, though. Defending champion, 10th place last week. Hasn't missed a cut this year. He withdrew from the Tournament of Champions, but just playing really, really solid golf. And I think another win is coming for him. And this is kind of a course history type of place from the perspective of, people do when they do well here, they continue to come back and do well. Look at Bubba Watson as an example. So I for me, it's Xander if I'm up top here. But I wouldn't talk anybody. I wouldn't talk about anybody like usual. It's all the best players. So
the best of the best. Scotty. We've talked about that time and time again. If you want to use Scotty, I have no problem with it. If I have to throw any shade at John Rahm, and this is just trying to cherry pick here, if you're focusing on the main part of the course of the par fours, 4 to 450, he's 56 in this field. Not sure that's going to really matter in the end, but if you want to just say, hey, guys that aren't elite at this spot, great. Then again, over the last 24 rounds, then again, Xander's 111 over the last 24 rounds. So, and he won here. So you can take that with whatever grain of salt you want. I do like Xander's for the fact the course history, with the way Xander plays, he has his courses he likes quite a bit. I think Cantlay at 10-2 is very intriguing to me. He's 6th in the model here. He's 10th in the par fours we're looking at. He's 7th in the birdie or better. He pretty much checks everything out really, really well. As around the green game's the biggest hindrance to him over the last 24 rounds. And I don't think that should be a problem if he's using his wedge out of the fairway. So I think Cantlay would be a nice pivot in this range. Because I think a lot will go Xander, a lot will go Scotty. Well, maybe most won't go Xander because of Rahm, Mac, and Scotty. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see there. But I think Cantlay could be a nice pivot at 10-2 in this range. 9K range, you got Vic Hovland 99, Tony Finau 97, Morikawa 95, Fleetwood 93, Wyndham 92, Ricky 91, Fitz 9,000. Who you like in here?
Another good range. This is a loaded field. Hovland at or Hovland, however you want to say it, at 9,900. He won the Memorial a couple weeks ago. That's a little bit of a different tournament than this as far as scoring wise goes, but I think he's fine. Morikawa, man, he's interesting. He's just had such a kind of a weird year. Last week he shoots 1 over, 1 under, 1 under, 1 under. I mean, that's pretty solid at any U.S. Open. That was good for 14th place finish last week. So I think he's fine. Tommy Fleetwood had the round of the tournament on Sunday to backdoor up top 5 in classic Tommy Fleetwood fashion.
Does that every U.S. Open, it feels like, on a Saturday or Sunday, every year.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 2 of the 3 63s on a Sunday at a U.S. Open. The other one being Johnny Miller, who I'm sure was just irate at how easy that golf course was playing on Thursday. To see 2 guys shoot 62, I mean, it's untelling how mad he would have been if he were not retired from the call. Ricky Fowler, man. I mean, why not? Miscut, 13th in his last 4 starts at this event, but 3 straight top 10 since the miscut at the PGA. If you go back further than that, his worst finish is all the way back at the API, 31st. Other than that, he's finished inside the top 15 in every event except for the PGA Championship. So, I mean, that is the definition of trending. And I will play Ricky this week. I said last week that I'm going to play him, and I ended up choosing all the guys that missed the cut around him. And I said last week that people were forewarned that I was going to play him because he's going to miss the cut if I play him, and I didn't play him. So you're welcome playing him this week for sure, 100%.
You know, it's tilting. I thought of that because you mentioned all the missed cuts. I had 3 lineups. I had 1 6 of 6. The 6 of 6 didn't even cash. Just gonna throw that out there. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much if you didn't have Ricky,
Yeah,
like you
over.
weren't going to cash. It was weird,
Yeah.
man,
It
because he
was
scored so high with so many birdies.
Yeah, he was a DK play for sure.
I mean, you could go probably 3 of 6 with Ricky and a couple other guys inside the that made
top 10.
Yeah, I mean, and you were cashing.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, for me, I think Vic's interesting. He's 3rd in my model, 13th in the par 4s, 12th in birdie or better. It is a different style tournament, like you said, but I think he's very much in play. I like Fleetwood quite a bit. I like him. I don't know why he's not like a bad driver of the golf ball, but I like him on these kind of shorter shot maker irons. Because I think European golfers when I think this kind of stuff, because that's what they're really good at, thinking through things instead of being those, us Americans just wants to see how far we can hit the ball. So Fleetwood at 93, he's 8th in my model. He's 6th in the par 4s. I like him quite a bit. Ricky, I love. He's 4th in my model, so I'm with you on everything you said. 9th on the par 4s, 4th in birdie or better. I want to play Wyndham because he rates out well, but you know how that goes. After he winning the U.S. Open, he's probably still drunk right now. I'm just gonna throw. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's a different breed.
Either that
maybe
or he's going back to back. Yeah,
yeah. Like maybe he's all business. We've seen this new breed of guys that are all business, and he's like, I got next week off probably, so we'll get after it then. I don't know, but he was playing great golf before he got there. That's the thing. So it really the price tag isn't wrong for Wyndham Clark in this one. So I think he's an interesting play. And he might come in lower on because of that back-to-back narrative that has been a thing in DFS forever in PGA. Yeah. The last one I'll mention, though, he only rates out 69th in my model, is Fitzpatrick at 9,000. We're talking about, shot makers, iron play, get strategic around a golf course. That's things he does very, very well. 17th at the U.S. Open, 20th at Canadian, 9th at Memorial, miscut PGA, 35th at Wells, won the Heritage, which is a Pete Dye course, by the way. 10th at the Masters. Like you mentioned Ricky's numbers. Ricky's are better, but he's not far off. Yeah. So I think Fitz at 9K kind of gets for like the forgotten man in this range potentially. And I like him quite a bit if I need to use it as a pivot, kind of like I talked about Cantley in the 10K range. And that's not my bias with Fitz. It's just the truth. 8K range, Homa at 89. Man, he needs to win a major, or at least T10 a major or something. Please, God. He's too good of a guy to just get destroyed. And his drinking buddy, JT's at $8,800. Good Lord. And JT, like, we could have a whole podcast on how broken he looks right now. Like his Friday where he shot, 15 over or something, shot 81? Like, or the 11 over. He shot some astronomical. 81. So he got 11 over. Just wild stuff. I thought I'd never see that day with Justin Thomas. Sung Jae's 87, Hideki 86, Cam Young 85, J Day 84, Sahith 83, Lowry 82, Tom Kim 81, Siwoo Kim 8,000. Who you like in here?
Yeah, I mean that top 3 is just like, to me, is just like screams stay away. I mean, they've all got terrible course history. Max has never made a cut at this event. JT's coming off a miscut in his last start in 2020 at this event. Has 2 straight miscuts on tour. I mean, has that ever happened to him? Very strange. Sung Jae, course history is okay. 2 made cuts, 2 of 2, but he's missed the cut in 3 of his last 4 starts. And his one start that he did make the cut was a 41st place finish at the Memorial where he shot 79 on Sunday. It's just weird range. So I'm going straight down to Hideki, 8,600. He's never played here, but Hideki's playing some pretty solid golf right now. Thigala, I think I'm going to play him again this week, kind of go back. I've been avoiding just because typically with his price, a lot of people are playing him because he does have the upside that eventually one day, maybe many years in the future, he's going to win a golf tournament. But he's never played here, but I do. Actually, no, he played here last year, finished second, and missed the cut in 2020. coming off made cut at the U.S. Open. I mean, he hasn't missed a cut since the fall swing back in October. Tom Kim, man, I mean, he flashed some form. Maybe he figured some shit out. Really good weekend for him. 66, 69 to finish 8th at the U.S. Open, and this was after 2 consecutive miscuts. So I think I'll play him, and then Siwoo at 8,000. Man, I mean, the course history is weird. It's miscut, 11th, miscut, 26th, 25th. But Siwoo is probably playing the best golf of his life right now. So I will play Siwoo at 8,000.
Did you see when Siwoo played dead?
Yes.
Almost hit by a golf ball. I love Siwoo, man. Like that's the best. That's good stuff right there.
You know who was standing beside him on that tee was Bryson.
Oh, it's even better. So
and he was like, he was giving him like the Club Pro guy crucifix position, like, because nobody yelled 4 at him. And somebody was mentioning how that was rich coming from Bryson
who hits on top of people. Yeah, that's
who never yells 4, or at least who didn't until he got caught out on it. Yeah.
That's funny. I'm with you. I'm starting with Hideki at 86 as well. He's 11th in my model, 5th in approach, 1st in opportunities gained over the last 24 rounds. He's also a guy that I play all the time because he just doesn't get the love, because he's always in the groupings of people that they love. Like, people will play Cam Young over Hideki all day long. They just will. Yeah. And Cam Young's going to figure it out eventually. I just don't know when, and it won't be on my roster. Is pretty much what it'll come down to. Yeah. So Hideki's my dude at 86. A guy that I'm intrigued with here is Jason Day at $8,400. He was trending in a huge way. Then he goes and wins the Byron Nelson. So that's where the trend goes well. And then a miscut of the PGA, miscut of the Memorial, miscut of the U.S. Open. And it makes me go, what the heck is going on with Jason Day? Because he was playing amazing golf, gets the dub. You look at this tournament, miscut last year, but 10th, 46th, 8th, 12th. He's got really good history at this golf course. I think you can get a low on Jason Day right here at $8,400. And see where that one goes. Like, his opportunities gained over the last 24 rounds, which would make sense because he's missed 3 straight cuts, 1/10, proximity 105. Like, that all checks out. If I went back longer, he'd be a lot better probably. But Day at 84 is very, very intriguing to me. Same with Shane Lowry at $8,200, because he's another guy who's just kind of underwhelming, because people I think have such high standards, especially after a couple of years ago winning the Open. But 20th at the U.S. Open, 43 in Canada, 16th Memorial, 12th at PGA. The dude gets it done. So I think he's another guy. I don't know if he's got enough to win the whole thing, because he's not a massive birdie machine, but could be a nice play at $8,200. And then I'm 100% with you on Siwoo Kim. For the biggest reason, I just do it every time, regardless of his form almost. It's a Pete Dye course. And Siwoo Kim loves Pete Dye courses. Like, hardcore loves Pete Dye courses. So I will take Siwoo at 8,000 for sure in this field. 75 to 79, give me Adam Scott, Henley, Keegan Bradley, Harris English, who had a heck of a week last week, Corey Connors, Gary Woodland, Denny McCarthy, Minwoo Lee had a great week as well, Matt Kuchar, Steven Yeager, Benny On. Who do you like here?
Scott at the top there, 7,900. I know he missed the cut last week. He shot 5 over. I think what was the cut, 3 or 2?
Yeah, it's 3.
2. If you shot 3, you were out. If you shot 2, you were in.
Yeah. Yep.
But before that, he was playing really good golf. So I will go back to Adam Scott and hope people don't. Henley had a pretty good week last week too, $7,800. 14th place finish there, 16th at Memorial, 16th at Charles Schwab. Playing really solid golf. His course history is pretty good too. 4 out of 5 made cuts here, including 19th place finish in his last start in 2021 at this event. Harris English has won this event in the past. Man, I mean, like, I almost talk about Harris English every week, and to see him like in the mix was very tilting for me. But I will play him this week, especially at that price, and I'd say he's probably going to be high owned if I was guessing. Last for me would be Brian Harman at 7,500, 8th, 5th, miscut 8th, 6th in his last 4 or 5 starts at this event. U.S. Open, he opened with a 65 and made the cut and really just finished 43rd. It was all over par after that, but it's kind of promising at a place that he likes, obviously pretty well, where he's finished inside the top 10 4 out of the last 5 years. Screams great GPP play to me as far as Brian Harman goes there.
Harmon loves himself a Pete Dye course as well. That's one thing he does. I don't think Kids is in this field if he is because he's a Pete Dye dude, but he also played better golf back in the day. I'm with you on Adam Scott though. At $7,900, I have no problem.
He's $6,200.
He's playing so bad though. That's another guy. Him and Homa, Homa and Kids should have been drinking together and talked about the round 4. That'd have been fun.
Yeah, it would have.
That'd have been a show. Adam Scott at 79. I'm with you. I'll go right back to that. Hopefully at lower rate. Even though he missed the cut last week, he's still first in this field in birdie or better in the last 24 rounds. I'll take my chances on that one. Russell Henley, you're talking about like an iron play approach game, like he's 6th in approach over the last 24 rounds. I like him a lot at 78. Keegan at 78 is on my radar. I don't know. He's been kind of flustering of late, so I'm not sure there. But if he's low owned, he's got the GPP upside any day of the week. I'm with you on Harry English. Corey Connors, 10th in my model, 10th off the tee, 13th on approach, 16th in opportunities gained, 26 on the par 4s. Kind of surprised he's this cheap. I know it's a loaded field, but he screams like a good play. So does Gary Woodland. Like, I love this range. I'm sorry. Woodland's solid.
A lot of really bad putters.
That's the thing, except for this next guy, Denny McCarthy.
Yeah, he's a good putter.
Best putter in the field, and he's 4th in the par 4s, 4 to 450. So, like, if you want your unicorn in this range, that's the guy I would look for compared to the other guys that make more sense potentially. McCarthy is the dude I wanted to mention. And then I think Minwoo Lee's going to be super popular just because he's playing well. There's a lot of narrative street there, but keep him on your radar. But I think Denny's your sneakier one here. I don't mind Adam Scott if people kind of get pissed off after last week. I'll be on board that train. Benny on. And then last but not least, Steven Yeager. I always think of him as a bomber. His from 125 to 150 wedge games, 18th in this field. He's 8th in opportunities gained. He's 10th in the par 4s, 4 to 450. He's actually 18th in my model. So Yeager is very, very, very interesting to me on this slate. 7K to 74. Who you like? And I don't like them all like I did the last field, so I'll keep mine shorter.
Aaron Rye at 7,400.
Of course,
I don't have to go back after his 3rd place finish at the Canadian Open. He has started here once last year, finished 40th. Aberg, man, at 7,400, coming off the 25th place finish at the Canadian. I expect him to be quite a bit more popular than he was, though, at the Canadian Open. And he was 7.5% at a higher salary. So I'd say he'll get touted quite a bit at 7,400. So look for some inflated ownership there. Eckroat at 7,300, finished 47th here last year. Hasn't missed a cut since the Texas Open back at the beginning of April. Has a couple of top 10s inside there, so playing really solid golf for a dude who's 7,300. Will Gordon at 7,100. 2 of 2 made cuts here. 18th at the Canadian his last time out. CT Payne, I think I mentioned him at the Canadian. Mm-hmm. My model likes him quite a bit. He finished 3rd there, finished 4th at the Byron Nelson. This is after 3 consecutive miscuts. His course history just screams GPP. Miscut, 36 miscut, 8th, 25th. So, yeah. And last but not least, Lucas Herbert, 7,000, 19th here last year, but has missed 3 straight cuts on tour. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, this is another one. I love Aaron Rice, 7th in my model. His wedge game is amazing. Par 4s, he's 2nd in this field. So I'm going to keep mentioning because par 4s, when like 2/3 of your holes are those distances, kind of important to me. Just a thought. So Aaron Rye is a very strong play here. One that's intriguing to me in this range, I think Rye will be popular and Aberg will be very popular. Good reasons. Dude's a stud. Straight out of college, played great in Canada. He's going to be popular. People are talking about him like he's the next greatest thing. Cam Davis at 74 has my attention. He's 26th in my model, 14th off the tee. He's 23rd in birdie or better. He's like 31st in proximity, 40th. Like, he doesn't ring the bell everywhere. But how many times we talk about Cam Davis on shorter courses? Puts the driver away, things change. And to make it more fun, it was 7th at Heritage, which is a Pete Dye course similar to here, 59th at Wells Fargo, 4th at PGA, and then 3 straight missed cuts. And at the U.S. Open, he missed negative 7.4 strokes gains total. 4.7 were on the green. Still, that's a lot of the other stuff. At the Memorial, he missed almost 7 strokes tee to green. So, grains of salt here, but I think a shorter golf course, he makes for a very, very fun tournament play with Cam Davis. And other than that, though, Eckroat I like a lot. He's 17th in my model. Eric Cole is one I hope people stay away from a little bit longer. He's 32nd in my model. He's 12th in opportunities gained, 10th in birdie or better. Just playing great golf no matter where he goes right now. He's producing. And then the other guys that I think get low ownership, Seabez. This is a Seabez type setup. Like don't have to bomb it. Shorter course. He's great on the par fours. Justin Suh, I believe you mentioned him.
I didn't.
Well, Justin Suh would be another dude. His iron play is pretty strong. Adam Schenk, I really like a lot this week in a format like this. And then there's a couple others, but I'm not going to name everybody under the sun that are intriguing. But
you love the 7K range. He's going to make 7K
range,
lineups.
dude. I was going through it. I'm like, these guys like check the right quote unquote.
These are the
boxes.
dudes that we've been playing for the last few weeks. Who
maybe that's what it is.
I agree with you on that.
Because you know what's terrifying is I preached for Kurt Kitayama last week.
Yeah, I know.
That was full tilt. But
what did he end up finishing? I was looking for him and I couldn't even think of his name. And I went through the leaderboard.
All it says is miscut next to his name, so I can't tell you what it says. I zoned that one out. I zoned it out. While you're looking that up, I just want to mention he's 39th in my model. He's third in the par fours we're looking at. He's 12th in 125 to 150, like wedge game. He's horrible around the green. His off the tee game's been rough right now, but tournaments, have some fun.
75-70, so he just shot 5 over.
So he missed the cut by 3. Yeah, so it wasn't horrific.
It wasn't the end of the world, no.
He just sucked on the easiest day.
Yeah.
So take that. Oh, and then Sam Bennett, 7,000. I wanted to mention him also.
Dude, Sam Bennett, he was up there. He was around the lead, shot
and then he
70
shaved.
Fucking 9. Who shaves going from Friday to Saturday?
The sports people, trust me, baseball especially, sports guys, we are superstitious.
No, 100%, man.
You had a great Thursday and Friday. What are you doing? Like, wear the same underwear. Like, I don't care.
I think that's who almost hit. I think that's who almost hit.
It might have been
Siwoo.
Yeah. I think you're right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just imploded on Saturday. He comes in clean shave. Like, what are you doing? He must have went to the Playboy Mansion.
I put him on.
Some things got interesting.
I put him on a showdown team. And
on Saturday?
he got like -2 points or something like that.
Oh, that's too
and
good.
Everybody else in my lineup, like I was like, how in the hell is this not cashing? Because I had a bunch of dudes who played really well, and I go back and look, I'm like, oh yeah, Sam Bennett, he was the worst player in the field. So there you go.
All righty. Well, yeah, we'll see how that plays out, but I don't mind going back to him. 6K range, what are you liking?
Hubbard, $6,900, very playable. 4 out of 4 made cuts here, and hasn't missed a cut since the Texas Open back in early April. So he's very playable. Doug Gim, current form is pretty good. I think he's playable. Lee Hodges finished 25th here last year, made 4 straight cuts on tour, and 3 of his last his last 3 starts have all been inside the top 30, with the last 2 being inside the top 25. So solid. Streelman at 6,800. I mentioned him in the event history.
Mm-hmm.
He did make the cut last week. He's played here a bunch. 25th missed cut, 2nd, 15th, 33rd, 8th missed cut going back to 2016. So he's got the course knowledge. Samuel Stevens, man. Sam Stevens, 6,800. Yeah. I wish that Fantasy Labs would listen to me whenever I emailed them and asked them to please correlate Sam Stevens with Samuel Stevens, because they have him listed as Samuel Stevens, but on PGA Tour website it's Sam Stevens. So I know it's what the malfunction is, why I don't have any stats on him. So I'm just going to keep blindly playing him, I guess. Ches Reavie at 6,700, made his last 4 cuts at this event, won this event in 2019, and has 4 straight made cuts on tour. And then last but not least, I think this, if you're down in this range, $6,500, Carson Young's the guy to go to. We said last week is not the guy to go to. He shot 10 over, was not anywhere, didn't even sniff the cut, but he's got the upside at 6,500 to sneak inside the top 30, top 20 potentially.
Yep, Team Carson Young, baby. Because prior to that, 43rd at Canada, 21 Charles Schwab, 14th he finished 19th at the RBC Heritage. Like, this is what we're looking for, people. So, yeah, I'm with you. Keep riding the Carson Young train. I don't have too much more guys like Chesney. I had Ben Martin, Streelman, Stevens, Gim. I love Hubbard. Big Hubbard fan. Michael Kim, I'll mention. I know he had the miscut last week, but he's playing some pretty good golf overall. And then the only other one I have here is Hayden Buckley, 31st in my model, 9th in opportunities gained, 22nd in the par 4 scoring we're looking at here, and finished 43rd here last year. So I don't mind taking a shot on Buckley as well. But I'm the goal is not to be down here if we can pull that one off, but we'll wait and see how that goes. All right, let's recap things. 10K and above. Who you got?
I'm gonna say Xander.
Go Cantley. It's gonna be a fun week when Scheffler finally wins. 9K range.
I mean, it will happen. Ricky
Oh,
Fowler.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go Fleetwood. But this is tough. It's a good range. Good range. 8K range.
Not in love with it, but I'm gonna say Siwoo.
That's a great one. I'll go Matsuyama, 75 to 79.
I'm gonna say Brian Harmon.
Interesting. I'm gonna go with let's go with Russell.
The whole
Henley.
range.
Yeah, I know that's why I had to narrow it down. It's tough. Russell Henley on this one. I wanted to go Harris English, but Russell Henley, 7K to 74.
Aberg.
That's a good one. I will go with Eric Cole, and then 6K range.
Sam Stevens.
I'll go with Hubbard. Give me some Mr. Mark Hubbard on this one. If you're building a cash lineup, Jesse, how are you starting things out?
Yeah, a little rough. I do like the 7K guys that you like, though. Like Henley, I think is cash viable. Aberg is probably pretty close, even though he doesn't really, have the starts and stuff. But if you're looking up top, like Hovland.
Okay. I'm going to go with Henley. I'll even go Adam Scott in there and then throw in some Aaron Rye. You guys have fun everywhere else you want to go. Tournaments where you start on GPP lineup.
Xander, Ricky, and Brian Harmon.
I like that a lot. I'll stick with my guns here. I'll go Cantlay, I'll go Cantlay, Fleetwood, Fitz. Figure it out from there. That could be a ton of fun. It's going to be a wild week, actually, because the way this course lays out, and in fact, anyone can win. It's almost one of those weeks where I feel like I say it every time because Chalk's kicking everyone's ass. I feel like just this is one of the best weeks to avoid Chalk, but just play the good plays. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about picks to win, though. When we look at DraftKings Sportsbook, yes, not a sponsor. Scheffler's 5.5 to 1. Rahm is 10 to 1. Cantlay's 10 to 1. Who do you like this week?
I mean, when are they going to make Scheffler's odds
Negative.
Not 6 to 1? Like, what? I mean, he hasn't won. When's the last time he won a golf tournament?
It's been a while.
So the Players Championship back in March.
The top 10 minus 140 is probably a more plus EV bet than him.
That's what I was going to say. Like, why would you not just bet him top 10? You know what I mean? Like, I know you're not getting the odds, but I mean,
he's like
top 5. I mean, he has finished in the top 5 in every event that he's played in since the Byron Nelson. Well, since the Heritage, but the Byron Nelson starting. I mean, it's a ridiculous run for somebody. I mean, he doesn't get the credit that he deserves for how good of golf he's playing. No, he can't putt. Just imagine if he could putt; it would be absolutely ridiculous to watch him.
Tom Kim and Siwoo Kim have gotten some serious love. If you look compared to DK pricing, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, wow. 35 on both of those guys. They've been bet down quite a bit there. Ricky at 35, I don't mind. I could see him bouncing back this week. I mean, Henley's right there too at 35, which is wild to me.
Wow.
Longer shot. Maybe Sahith gets it done this week, 65 to 1. JT is at 65 to 1.
Wow. Yep. Max is at 40 and JT's at 65. Holy shit.
Yeah, how do you not bet Justin Thomas at 65 to 1?
Yeah, even if he's broken, throw a couple shekels on that.
I mean,
holy crap.
If somebody's giving you 65 to 1 on a Justin Thomas, I don't care what the golf tournament is. I know it was kind of similar last week. I had at least one buddy who bet him just because of the number. But I mean, that's what a lot of people do every week is just bet because of the number, right?
100%.
So, yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know. Aberg at 100 to 1, maybe. Sam Bennett at 130.
Yeah, because the one thing I'll say is like I keep preaching. I love having these guys in these elevated events that aren't the big dogs, but the big dogs still usually win these things. So let's just be real about it.
I mean, there's a lot of money on the line, and they give a shit.
Exactly. So, like Matsuyama at 40, I don't know if he's going to win it. Like Fitz at 35 is interesting to me. I think that's got some viability for sure. It's crazy. Fleetwood's 22 this week.
Yeah, that's too low on him too. I mean, like he doesn't win.
No, this is nuts. Yeah, these numbers are all usually it's pretty in line with DK pricing. These are all over the freaking board right
Yeah,
now.
this is way off.
Like, oh, I'm just scanning back and forth. What in the hell is going on here? So yeah, give me some Hideki, and then other than that, like that JT number is hilarious. Yeah, it's real rough. I'm trying to figure out who else fell down here that's gonna be cheap, but there's really no one standing out, I guess. Yeah, we'll wait and see. That's gonna be a fun one. But any final thoughts on the week as we wrap up another episode?
I don't, man.
We're a few weeks away from our final major of the year, so
Yep.
get ready, people. Get ready. It's coming. It's coming.
The Open Championship.
The British Open will always be the British Open. Make sure you guys check out Jesse on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods, the podcast at Always Press DFS. We'll be back with you guys next week for some more PGA Tour action. But until next time, this is your 2023 Travelers Championship preview. Catch you all next time.